Lesson 9.2, Angles and Radian Measure. Our essential question, how do you draw angles in standard position? Find coterminal angles and use radian measures. There were 3 problems left on the page for independent practice. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at those. So we are first being asked to find the angle of 230 degrees. Where is that? Well, we start right here on the initial side, and then I have to travel. I know that 3/4 around would have been 270. It's shy of 270, so I know that it's going to live in here somewhere. So I know that I'm going to first travel the full 180, and then I got to figure out where. So I'm going to travel first a full 180, and then I know I need to travel another 50 into here. So I'm going to split this in half because I know that this would give me 45 degrees, and a smudging past that would give me the remaining 5 that I needed to get the 250. So traveling that distance would have landed me on the angle of 230. But I need to find 2 coterminal angles that go with this, the positive and the negative coterminal angles. To find my positive coterminal angle, we're going to go counterclockwise around. So if I go counterclockwise around, I would have landed here. But that's the same path as the blue. I can't follow the same path. So I got to pass it, do it again, and then I can go ahead and stop it. So I went first a full 360 degrees around the circle. And then I went ahead and traveled another 230 degrees to stop. So my green pathway takes me a total of 590 degrees around the circle and still stops me at the same exact blue line. Well, what if we went the negative direction, which told you to go backwards? So if I started here, I could go backwards and I stop right here. That is a different path, so I can stop. So I see that this is a negative 90. So first I traveled negative 90. And then what is this? Well, I split this in 45 and then took away another 5. So this is negative 40 degrees. So I traveled 90 backwards and then another 40 backwards. I traveled a total of 130 degrees backwards. 230 degrees, 590 degrees, and negative 130 degrees are all coterminal angles. They take different pathways to get there, but they all land on the same exact one blue angle. Next is 740. We need to find this angle measure first. We know that he is bigger than 360 degrees. So we know that he has to travel around the circle first. Well, he actually has to travel around the circle 2 full times and still be too big. Travel 2 full times around the circle and then another 20 degrees and you will land there. So here is our initial side. I have to travel 1, 2 full times around the circle, and now I need to go 20 more. Well, if I cut this into 3 30-minute segments, 30-degree segments, I know my 20 degrees would be just a little shy. So this is the remaining 20 degrees that I need to go in order to land on the 740 degrees that they want me to. Well, now I need to find 2 other pathways to get there, the positive pathway and the negative pathway. The positive pathway tells me to go in the positive direction. So if I started here, I could actually stop the minute I got there. Nobody's gone that pathway yet. So I just went 20 degrees. So 740 and 20 degrees are the same exact angle. Well, what if I went the negative way, which is the backwards direction? So if I started here, I got to go backwards and I can stop the minute I land on the blue line. Nobody else went that direction. I went first 90 degrees and then another 90 degrees and then another 90 degrees. So I went backwards 90 degrees 3 times. And then let's look at this. I didn't go a full 90. I stopped 20 degrees short. So I actually went 70 degrees more backwards. This landed me on negative 340 degrees going the backwards way. Last one. Negative 135 is the angle they're asking us to first find. Negative told me to go backwards. So this is our initial side. This is where we start. We're going to go ahead and go backwards. If I just went this far backwards, I would have been at negative 90. If I was already at negative 90, I needed to go another negative 45 to get to the negative 135 that I needed. I know that this gets split into 45 degree segments. So here's my remaining negative 45 degrees. And this is where I would stop for my negative 135 degree angle. But it wants me to find two coterminal angles, one positive and one negative. The positive goes counterclockwise, the negative goes clockwise. So if I'm sitting here and I want to find the positive, I go around until I stop. Nobody else has traveled that pathway, so I can stop there. So this would have been 90 degrees, and then I went another 90 degrees. What is this? I split it into two 45-degree segments, so that was just another 45 degrees. So I traveled a total of 225 degrees around the circle. What about the negative way? If I went in the negative direction and stopped here, I would have been following the same exact path as the blue, which I'm not allowed to do, which means I need to go all the way around the circle, and I need to try it again. And then I can stop, because nobody traveled that pathway. So I went all the way around the circle, and then I went ahead and traveled the negative 135 degree again. This landed me at negative 495 degrees. All three of these are coterminal. They all three take different pathways around the circle, but all three land on the same one blue line.